right, that is the intro and the verse progression to John Mayer's I'm Gonna Find Another You. And I want to come on here and break this progression down. I love this progression. I learned to play over it over in high school. And man, it's so good. It's a great slow blues progression. It's kind of 6/8 feel. And there's some great chord changes. So I want to just break it down, say what I'm doing, walk through it, and maybe a little bit on how to like solo over it and stuff. So you're starting, it's in the key of A. We're starting with our A major. Now I'm using this shape that I've talked about a lot, right? Where it's not, it's an E-shaped A chord, but I'm using it with my thumb. Then we go down to a dominant 7A that leads us up to our D, our 4 chord. Now for the D, I'm going, here's a normal D bar chord in A shape. I'm putting the 3rd on the bottom under my ring finger, and I'm going, sliding up to that. It's technically a G-shaped D, but we're just gonna play this a little bit, and there it lets you do the. Now here is a sharp 4, so it's our D sharp, right? Diminished chord. Now this is gonna lead us really well back to our 1. You can hear it, right? And you've heard that before. Maybe you didn't know what it was, but I'll break the shape down since you might not know it. So starting on the A string, I'm on the 6th fret, the 7th fret, the 5th fret, and the 7th fret. Now diminished chord's just a stack of minor thirds, so you can move this up. I can go here, and if I move my root, which is under my middle finger, up a minor third, and then up again. It's that sound, which you've all heard before. And it leads great back to our 1. Okay, now the back half of the progression, we're on 1. Then go down to 6, minor 6. Now I'm playing that same E shape, but now it's minor. So instead of this major shape, I take off my pointer finger and bar with this, and it's. Now when I'm doing it with my thumb, it lets me do the. Up to our minor 2, which is just a great change. This is a 6, 2, 5, 1 change right here. So we're on the 1 after the. I'll play through it. 1, down to 6, up to 2. Now our 5. Now our 5, I'm playing a 1, major 3rd, and flat 7 up the 5 chord. So this is our E7 chord, but I'm also rolling my ring finger back in this shape to get the 2 in it. And you get that great. And a little trick you can do with that is, right, that. Just slide it up a whole step, you know. And then back to our 1. Then we're gonna go major 4 to minor 4. 1, so that's a D major, D minor, 1, and then blues, right? We low chromatic walk up to the root of 5. Right? And then we're back. That's the whole progression. So let's talk about like playing over that just a little bit. So starting 1, it's A major, and it definitely leans a little more major blues-esque. But since it's a blues and there's a lot of dominant chords, you want to mix the major and minor together. You don't want to hammer on just the major too much. You can actually, but adding a little bit of that minor is a great flair, and it's good practice for it. So out of this box, right, this is our A major chord, but I'm up in C shape, right? So my root's under here and under my pinky, and we got the. It's our A major scale right there. So it's that little box that I talked about in that gravity video though. So let's I'll kind of solo through the chords and try and show you a little bit of working out of that box and how to mix some major and minor. So we got the first right off the bat is. So right there, see how I'm mostly going major, but then I'm mixing in once in a while that minor third in that flat 7. So, you know, you can... See, I went down to the 6 right there. So another great thing that you guys can at least hear when I'm soloing through that is, see how I was up there playing kind of lead and not lead, and you can still hear the chord changes. That's because on my phrasing, like going to that 6 chord, I emphasize the change by doing a... right? And that's a little small version of this bigger 6 chord. It's just the little, this part, right? The part that's under these 3 fingers. I went... and you could play the 2 up here if you want. Then up to that. And then we go down. All right, see, so like you hear in there, the goal of this is for you to like listen to me do that and maybe rip some little licks off or whatnot, but it's using the ideas, and I can move through that chord progression up in this place instead of the original ones I showed you, because I know what's happening. I know it's going from the 1 to the dominant 1 to the 4 to the sharp 4 diminished, right? And then the 6, the 2, the 5, the 1, the 4, the minor 4, right? This is a long progression, so take your time with it. It took me a while to learn it, and it's a good 6/8 feel. It's a little different than some of the normal stuff, but it's so good to solo over. Great major blues, and it's great for practicing that, adding mostly major, and then just once in a while getting that. Right, so play through that progression a little bit, mess around with it. Don't be afraid to make it your own. Try and add some licks in, throw on a backing track or loop it. It's just a great blues progression that's used all over. It's a great slow blues, and I love this song. So, all right, you guys, until next time.